Alright, good evening everybody. Omnisire, forgive me, for my flesh is weak, and I still suffer from the effects of a cold. There might be a lot of sniffing, and occasional sneezing, and maybe even some coughing this evening, folks, but I'm on the mend, well enough at least to do a stream, so here we are. Tonight we're playing Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus. A game that I've played a fair bit of while I was off sick. It's pretty good. I really like it, actually. So, I'm pleased to share the word of the Machine God with you tonight. I decided against the double stream thing tonight, just because still a bit under the weather, and I didn't want to have to force myself through a longer stream than normal. So on Wednesday, instead, that's when we're going to be doing the double bill stream of, what's it called? Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and World in Conflict. That's on Wednesday. And of course on Friday, we'll be doing more Fallout New California. Seems like the Adeptus Mechanicus is one of my favourite factions, because they are. Mechanicus are great. I'm in a Mechanicus mood at the moment as well, particularly because I have, for the last few days, been frantically building and painting Imperial Knights. For my No Retreat 8 application. Nearly done. I got one on my desk that's finished, except it needs basing, and I got another one that's halfway painted as well. And then once they're both done, I'm going to take some photos and send them along with my application. Because it'd be very good to go to No Retreat. It'd be a lot of fun. I could do with a holiday. Also, I'm reading two books at the moment, but one of them is Mechanicum by Graham McNeil as well. So I'm reading that. And also, I picked up Adeptus Titanicus recently. I got the rule set, and I got a pair of Warhound Titans and some Knights. I'm going to be doing a bit of a trial game of that at some point with a friend of mine when I get around to building the little buggers, but that should be fun, because I played some Titanicus at the tournament last Sunday. It was really good. It was really good fun. You're listening right now to the game soundtrack, yeah? This is the Mechanicus soundtrack. It's really, really good. Also, yeah, as well, and this Christmas, I am starting an Adeptus Mechanicus army for 40k, so it's my next big project. So I should be listening to this soundtrack while I paint much of it, I imagine. But yeah, that's happening this Christmas, because every Christmas Games Workshop does these Battle Force bundles, basically, where it's like an army in a box, and it has a huge hefty discount on it compared to buying everything separately, usually around the sort of like 60, 70 quid mark in terms of like discounted off the normal price. And one of the bundles they're doing this year is the Adeptus Mechanicus. So I think it's a bundle that has about 20 Skitari in it, and one of their dune crawler things, which are like their spider tanks, and at least one or two robots. I think there's a pair of Castellan robots in there as well, and it looks like a bunch of Rust Stalkers as well. It looks like a really, really good bundle, and I'm gonna be getting it. So that's gonna be my next thing, is Mechanicus, and I hope to get them painted up relatively quickly and on the channel relatively quickly as well, because I think my plan is going to be basically to, while I get them up to strength, I'll be running them alongside my Imperial Knights. So ideally, I want to build towards about 3,000, 4,000 points of them eventually. But until I get to that point, I'll be running them alongside the old Imperial Knights, which should be fun. Should be really nasty too, actually. That's a pretty strong army, Imperial Knights with Adeptus Mechanicus, so that should be fun. You mainly just fight Necrons in this game? Yeah, exclusively Necrons. Although there's nothing wrong with that. Knights and Admech, yeah. I've got photos, actually. Hold on. Here's a picture of all the knights I've done so far, although one of them, as I said, he's not based yet. I still need to do that. There you go. Previously, the one on the far right, which is Lady Mercy, she's already been on the channel. I used her in the Inquisition bat rep I did with Andrew, but the other three are new. I've done those three. Mercy's going to get her paint job updated, actually, as well. I need to bring her up to standard with the rest of them. But, yeah, I got the Gallant, who's the guy who hasn't been based yet. I got the Cerastus Atropos, who's the big fella. And I've got a Cerastus Castigator. Yeah, it's a Castigator, sat on my desk right now, half painted. And still unbuilt, I've got another two Questoris class knights. Like the Gallant, but they're going to have different weapons loadouts. I think I'm going to do a Crusader, probably an Errant, but I haven't fully decided yet. Yeah, it's amazing what a new brush can do for you, right? Getting a new paintbrush. It's sometimes because you put up with your shitty brush for ages, and eventually you force yourself to buy a new one. And it's like, wow, suddenly I can paint amazingly now. Now I have a brush that actually holds a point for a while. Yep, been there. But anyway, I want to take those guys to No Retreat with me if they accept the application, which would be really awesome. Little holiday down to Gibraltar for a week. Play some 40k, do stuff. I'm applying with two other armies as well. I'm going to apply with my Adeptus Custodes, because they're also very pretty. And the third army I haven't quite decided yet. It's either going to be my Tau or my Dark Eldar, which you guys haven't seen yet, so it'll be one of the two. Tempted to trick my Imperial Guard in there just because I love them to bits, but as much as I love my Imperial Guard, they're not that well painted, so, and the painting standard for No Retreat is really, really high, so. Do I like Tau any more than I've started building them? Yeah, they're alright. They're difficult to use. Need more practice with them, really. I just don't get enough games in these days to practice with every single one of my armies. But yeah, that's what I've been working on, these guys. And that pretty much is the exact army I'd like to bring as well. That quite neatly comes to, those 4 knights there, comes neatly to 1750 points, which I think is the points limit for the tournament, so that's probably exactly what I'll bring. I don't think I'll win. I won't even come close to winning. If I'm lucky, I'll avoid getting the wooden spoon. But it'll deliver a good kick. It won't let me down. Hello there, person who streams I almost never watch because I have almost no time to watch streams anymore thanks to spending on making YouTube videos. That was real subtle there, Dark Phoenix. Real subtle. It was about as subtle as a pair of double D tits on a scorpion. Is it one of those things where they're only really overpowered and cheesy at the top level of play? What, you mean the Tau? No, they're just a tricky army to use, honestly. There's some stuff out there that is just a massive hard counter to them, which there's not much you can do about. But they're just tricky to use. There's lots of rules to remember and lots of synergies that you have to work with in order to actually get anywhere with them. And you really have to get the list right, too. Like, if you don't bring enough of certain things, they'll just fail miserably. First time on the Mechanicus for a continuation. First time on the stream. I've been playing plenty of it in my spare time, though. Well, actually, that's the funny thing, Sirix, actually. They're not countered by melee. Tau wreck the living shit out of melee armies. Like, bringing a melee army against Tau these days is like, you know, it's like the charge of the Light Brigade. You'll never get into melee with them. You will die. You bring Khorne Berserkers against Tau, kiss goodbye to your Khorne Berserkers. They will all be dead before they reach the Tau lines. So what type of army does give them trouble? Well, if you let me finish. The type of armies that give Tau trouble are the ones that fuck with your ability to hit things. Because Tau only have a 4+ ballistic skill, which means that 50% of the time they miss their shots. The way they improve that is by using marker lights, which, if you get one marker light on an enemy unit, you get to reroll your ones to hit. If you get more marker lights, you get other bonuses. If you get 5 marker lights, you add 1 to your hit rolls, so you hit on 3s instead of 4s. And there are a lot of armies with units or just army-wide buffs in 40k that give you a -1 to hit when you shoot at them. And that means that Tau suddenly are hitting on 5+. So basically, Tau turn into orcs. Like, they have the ballistic skill of orcs against certain armies. Marker lights, light flares, or something like think laser designators. So against, like, say, your Alpha Legion or your some certain Eldar armies and Tyranids, if they bring the right units, anything like that. Anything that debuffs the Tau's ability to hit stuff with their guns causes them huge problems. Because then suddenly they can't hit the broadside of a barn, and you can just pick them off from range. So that's what gives Tau a hard time. Against melee armies, they're laughing. Only Tau game you ever won was against a melee orc army. Well, there you go, exactly. Guard get nerfed pretty hard by that sort of debuff as well, but the difference with Guard is they just have so many guns it doesn't matter. Quite frequently. It's like, we'll just throw enough dice at you and eventually, like, a third of it will hit you. Anyway. And then you got armies like Knights, and the reason Knights are so damn powerful is because they kick butt in melee and in shooting at the same time. And they can do both without real penalty either, so... It's like, oh, you got a -1 to hit with shooting? That's cute, because I'm going to run up into your face and burst through your front line like the Kool-Aid Man anyway. So even if my guns don't hit you, I will literally crush you with my giant titanic feet. So... There's Necrons who just don't die. Except they do, though. That's the problem. They die constantly because they're overcosted and everybody has way more stuff to play with than them. Doesn't matter if you get reanimation protocols on a 5+ when the enemy army outnumbers you to such a ludicrous margin. Because then all they have to do is just delete you a unit at a time. And then you don't get any reanimation protocols because the entire unit got wiped out in a single turn. Taking out a few armies with your crons. Yeah, I'm not going to say that they're impossible to win with. They're not like, this isn't 7th edition. It's not that unbalanced, but like there is a reason you don't ever see Necrons in tournaments ever outside of the weird 3 Tesseract vault list. Because Necrons are way overpointed for what you get. And just aren't competitive outside of your friendly game at your local store or whatever. That's why I have a small Necron army, and I have not been in any rush to build it up at all because Necrons just suck pants at the moment. Hopefully, chapter approved will fix it. It'll give them a bunch. Ideally, it will give them a whole bunch of points decreases, and they'll actually become usable again, which would be very nice. But as it stands right now, you do not get enough Necrons for your points to actually make them work properly against a really nasty, sort of finely tuned army. Against your mate's casual Space Marine army thrown together from whatever models he could afford down at the local gaming store, yeah, you'll probably do alright, but against anyone who knows what they're doing, Necrons just get their asses kicked at the moment. The economy aspects of unit balance. Yeah, essentially that's the Necrons' problem, right? Their rules are fine. Like, the rules are okay. Internally, their codex is very balanced, which is nice. The problem is you pay too many points for the ability to bring them back from the dead. So all Necrons, basically, the way it works is if you don't wipe out their entire unit, each turn, at the beginning of their turn, for each dead guy in a squad of Necrons, you roll a dice. It's called reanimation protocols, and on each roll of a 5+, he gets back up again, and you add him back to the unit again. Which is powerful, because you have certain Necron units that are actually, like, they're quite individually powerful, and having them get back up again on full health is kind of mean. But it only happens on a 5+, so only 1 in 3 rolls will it happen statistically, right? And so Necrons, in terms of their base stats, versus other units, they're very, very overcosted because they pay a points tax for their ability to get back up again. And the problem at the moment is that tax is a little too high. Sounds like a Basilisk would wreck Necrons if you keep it at range. You need. Nah, you need. Nah, but Basilisk is for killing tanks with, really, to be honest. You should just lower the tax rather than the base cost of each unit. Well, what this tax I'm talking about is included in the base cost of the unit, so. Basilisks kill enemy large monsters and vehicles and things, generally speaking. They're not particularly effective against infantry because they don't fire enough shots. The way to beat Necrons essentially is you focus all your firepower on one unit at a time. Like, you take a unit of 20 warriors, 20 Necron warriors, you pour all of your firepower into that unit and completely wipe it out. Because once the unit is completely wiped out, you don't get to re-roll. You don't get to roll to have them come back again. So you either completely wipe it out or you kill so many of them that the rest of them will flee from morale. Or, you know, not flee, they're Necrons, aren't they? So, you know, teleport back to the tomb world or whatever it is. But, you know, you kill enough of them so that the rest of them will disappear at the end of the turn. Once that's happened, the Necron player can't roll to get them back ever again. They're gone permanently. So, it's the equivalent of clicking select all and attack on a single unit in an RTS. That's basically exactly what it is, yeah. That's how you beat Necrons. You just click drag your entire army and then right-click attack on one individual unit and kill it. And then it's gone. And you do that throughout the entire game. You just focus your fire on one unit at a time. Against players who don't realize they're supposed to do that, Necrons wreck face. But the problem is, anyone who's played 40k for more than a couple of weeks knows that you beat Necrons by shooting one unit at a time. Against a total noob, your Necrons will seem like the cheesiest thing in the universe, but against someone who actually understands how it works, they're not so scary. Necrons plus all attacker equals 0 Necrons. Pretty much, honestly. Any I say shooting army, but honestly, like Khorne Berserkers or Orc Boys could do a number on it on Necrons, frankly, just because it's sheer number of attacks. Just pile on all of the fucking Daka that you've got, and watch them fail their 4-up saves. You start doing anything with that? Yeah, I've got loads of Orcs, mate. I've got like 3,000, 4,000 points of Orcs. They're not quite ready yet, because a few of the HQs I still need to do. I've got a Weird Boy I need to do, and I've got a War Boss and Mega Armor I need to do. And once they're done, it'll probably be ready. So, yeah. Obviously I need to learn the rules too, so I have a basic idea of how Orcs work, but I don't remember like the individual unit rules and things like that. That's something I need to work on. You'd have a dive into the codex and figure shit out. Right. Sorry, I was just wiping my nose, as I said. I'm a bit of a mucus factory at the moment. Thanks for that one, Nurgle, you bastard. Alright. What are rules, anyway? Anyway, so... where's the thing? Okay. My stupid Night Castigator is covering up half of my other monitor right now. Right, okay, there we go. Alright, so. Let us begin, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I got a couple of other games, actually, by the way. Slightly irrelevant, this, but I picked up a few games on the GOG sale. I got Serpent in the Staglands, which is like a modern reimagining type spiritual successor, whatever, to Darklands from back in the day, which I'm eager to give a try. I got Turok, finally, as well. I picked up Strife, which was recommended to me by a viewer, I think, ages ago. And Army Men, which I remember playing when I was a kid. Holy shit. I don't know if that's even fucking streamable, just because of the how fucking old it is and weird it is. But I got that for the nostalgia. Uses the same engine as Doom. Yeah, that's the one. This is the remastered version by Night Dive, along with Turok. That's also done by Night Dive as well. So yeah, Night Dive have been doing loads of remasters of old shit lately. They did Turok, they did Turok 2, they did Strife, they did the original System Shock. They're doing God's work, I tell you. The Omnissiah's work. Still writing backstory for the 404th, really enjoyed the narrative too. Yeah, I haven't written anything recently, mind you. I've been way too busy. So much for November being my writing month. That just never happened at all. There's too much other stuff going on. Did you decide on a name for that brave Psyker? No, actually. I haven't decided what to do with him just yet, but he was pretty cool. He kicked ass. After several games of basically being rubbish and not doing anything, he finally made his mark. So good for him. This week's job actually is well, get this Night Castigator finished, but also I've got a pair of Valkyries I need to paint. So I need to get them painted for Thursday because that's when Dan is coming around to film the next Morgan's Reach battle. So yeah, you're welcome, Ashton. I wish I could do more of them, I just don't have enough opponents. It's a shame. Right. Don't think I've got a game capture set up for this. Let's see if it just automatically does it, and if it doesn't, then I'll sort it out. Oh, get on with it, Steam. Preparing to launch Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus. Ugh, sigh. Might have had more opponents if Angus had ever actually finished his damn orcs, instead of wandering off to do Necrons instead. Any plans to do anything more with Ultimate Apocalypse? It's fun to do it every now and again. I don't have any serious plans to do anything major with it though. I'm more likely to just play Vanilla Dawn of War and do the story campaign at some point. The downfall of Ultimate Apocalypse is there's no campaign available for it. It's just skirmish, basically. Which, you know, is fun, but it gets dull. It gets a bit dull after a while. Oh, what the fuck, Steam? Why won't you just launch the game? What is your problem? It says it's updating, but there's nothing to download. Apparently I downloaded an 18.7 megabyte update, but it's taking its sweet flipping time actually installing it. Oh god, I hate Steam. Steam is so shite. So shit. It's always been shit as well. Jesus, like there's never not been a time when Steam has not been really slow and crap. Oh, enjoy the intermission stream for a while. yeah. Where's the J. Jonah Jameson laughing .gif when you need it? Yeah, me multiplayer? You must be joking. At least the progress bar is moving now. Steam runs like a pig on this computer. Steam runs like a pig on everyone's computer, man. It always has. I remember the first time I ever downloaded Steam, I had the goddamn orange box for it, and even back then, it was a piece of shit. It has never stopped being a piece of shit. It's just dreadful. It's just really dreadful. Unfortunately, the game isn't available on GOG, so I couldn't have had it on GOG Galaxy instead, which is an infinitely superior platform. Hey, Mirrors. Welcome to Let's Wait for the Game to Update with Steam before we actually play it. One minute 30 Valve seconds remaining. Which is now, of course, jumped to 2 minutes 50 Valve seconds. That's why you call them Valve seconds, because they mean absolutely nothing. Why do we click on View Update? Let's read about this damn patch that's causing me so much grief right now. Fixed ending achievements in something or other. Fixed Guitari Ranger Alpha's Power Sword Machine Spirit. Da-de-da-de-da. That's not a very big list of fixes. Fair play. I think you did a pretty good job with it. I didn't notice any bugs when I was playing it. Cool. I think it's nearly done. It was ready to launch in approximately 2 Valve seconds. Alright, there we go. Play game. We'll keep telling ourselves that. Hightail, if it helps us sleep at night. Alright. I don't. Oh, no, we don't. Yeah, I need to. Game capture. Mechanicus. .exe.
From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of steel. I aspired to the purity of the blessed machine. Your kind cling to your flesh, as if it will not decay and fail you. One day, the crude biomass that you call the temple will wither, and you will beg my kind to save you. But I am already saved. For the machine is immortal. I serve the
Omnisire. Praise the machine god. All right. New game. Ordinarily, I might read this text out, but as you know, the flesh is indeed weak, and I am ill at the moment. I'd rather not. So small. This is turn-based? Yes, it is. We'll get to the actual battles and what have you in a bit. We're still in the intro. Right, so basically, if you weren't keeping up with the text, a previous Tech Magos guy, he went missing here on this planet, and we've come to go look for him. And the place is basically full of Necron tombs and stuff. So we're going to go have a poke around inside, because we're the Adeptus Mechanicus, and that's what we do. We basically poke where we probably shouldn't, and make things worse for everybody involved. So yeah, there you go. Agrilex sector located. This tomb reeks of stale, dusty antiquity. Its once stern architecture is littered with debris and tarnished with the patina of age. Here and there, fissures in the structure cast feeble light over cracked and tarnished metal. The tomb was once brutalist and oppressive, as if designed to crush the spirits of its inhabitants. It is no less intimidating now, but instead of evoking a merciless guiding intelligence, it speaks only of decline and of death. This place seems abandoned at first glance, but as the exploratory troops move through its hushed corridors, the ancient dust stirs, and something long dead begins to take on a facsimile of life. Yes, this is the tutorial stuff. The Adeptus Mechanicus are a curious breed. They explore and interact with machines they do not fully understand. Within this tutorial, you will have to explore the interface to discover what to do. Like a true tech priest, you must experiment in order to learn. We'll help you out just this one time. Left mouse button, so on and so forth, yeah. So as you can see, we're viewing things from the sort of command holo table thing on board the spaceship. So, click on here, our guys move through. So yeah, and you're being introduced to the main characters here as well. These guys with their cool animated portraits and stuff. They're the guys on the ship with us, who will provide us with missions and stuff as the campaign goes on. And they all have their own little personalities and quirks that make them amusing and fun. Videx here, for example, he's like super hyper religious and stuff. He's always quoting the sacred texts and stuff, and he's like, "We must purge the Xenos!" Ah! Whereas you've got the others who are a bit different, like the Scivola, I think it is from Styges 8, so is kind of very, always speaks in sort of code language almost, and is really interested in getting their grubby mitts on Necron technology to try and do like sort of heretical things with it. So ahead is an obelisk-like object covered in what can only be described as hieroglyphic symbols. It almost reaches the tall ceiling of this chamber. Scrutinize. Examine the inscriptions on the obelisk. Secure. Check the surrounding chambers for potential dangers. And Scourge. Destroy the obelisk. It is a monument to the alien and must fall. Let us check the surrounding chambers for potential dangers. The cohort searches the chambers adjoining the obelisk's location. They find a few pieces of wreckage made from exotic materials and are gathering them, when the obelisk suddenly splits open, bathing its chamber in radiation. It appears there is also something inside the obelisk, and we just got a load of blackstone, which is a sort of currency we use to purchase stuff in the game. So one thing that's worth pointing out about this game is that it has very good writing, I feel. The different characters and stuff and the story as it unfolds are actually very well done, and most of the reason for that is... And the Mechanicus themselves, I feel, are very well represented in this game. They have that quintessential mix of that kind of weird sort of... what do I call it? Sort of cargo cultism, grimdark kind of cargo cultism around machines and stuff, but they also have that sense of humor about them as well, because one of the great things about the Mechanicus is that they're kind of awful, and at the same time they're occasionally pretty funny too. You know, they're the sort of faction that would wage war on an entire system of planets just to recover the blueprints for a sandwich maker. So they're a funny bunch. They're pretty cool. They're one of the most interesting factions in 40k, I feel personally, because they're one of those ones, even before in the tabletop game they even got an army of their own, they always existed in the background and the lore and stuff, and you really would have no 40k as it exists without these guys. They're such a core part of that universe. And this game really does them justice. And most of the reason is because the writing and stuff in this game is done by Ben Counter, who is among other things, he's an author for the Black Library, which is Games Workshop's publishing arm for books. I've read some books of his in the past, and they've been quite good for the most part, so yeah, and he's done a great job with this game. They brought him on board to do all the writing for this, and pretty good. One of the things that's cool bit of attention to detail here, and we discussed this, I think, in a previous stream, but you'll notice that whenever the Mechanicus characters talk, there's no real proper voice acting. You just hear that sort of burst of gibberish. There is voice acting in this game. The Necron characters, when you meet them, they actually speak in English. They actually speak, and their lines are voice acted. The reason it's done like this is, I think, for two reasons. One is a practical reason, which means that because these guys have the vast majority of the dialogue in the game, if they don't have to voice act it, that means they can write lots and lots and lots of dialogue for them, and don't have to pay a whole bunch of voice actors, which is great. But also, it represents a cool bit of attention to detail, because Mechanicus guys, they rarely speak out loud when they communicate with one another. The only times they really speak out loud is when they have to communicate with someone who's not a member of the Mechanicus. What they usually do instead is they transmit what they want to say basically via the cloud to whoever they're talking to in what they call binaric cant. So basically they speak in ones and zeros at lightning speed to each other through the cloud. And so what bystanders usually hear when they're doing that is just this garbled gibberish in bursts. So it's kind of it's very clever from the perspective of A, it's allowed them to save loads of money and time on voice actors, and B, it's a cool bit of attention to detail, because that's actually how it is in the fluff as well. They rarely speak out loud. They just sort of transmit these bursts of information to each other. The cohort encounters resistance in the form of Xenos constructs, not flesh and blood creatures, but artificial bodies that move with precision and coordination. Crusade. The aggressive stance of the tech priest ensures they will not be outmaneuvered, but it risks their running headlong into the fire of the enemy. Consistency. Follow the established combat engagement protocols. It shall be done by the book. Or caution. Exercise extreme caution. Do not charge into heedlessly, lest the trickery of the alien be our downfall. Let's do it by the book. Consistency. Combat will be joined according to the long-established tenets of the Adeptus Mechanicus, for good or ill. Kill all enemies. Right. This is the battle arena view. Yep. Using the power of the new sphere. Tech Priest data network. Yep, the cloud, basically. You'll control your cohort of deadly Adeptus Mechanicus suits while you sit safely in orbit on the Cestus Metallicon. I like this. Start of every fight, you must decide the location of your units on the field of battle. You can only place units on the highlighted squares. Right, so let's take Magos Apprentice Jeremiah here. We shall stick him here. And Magos Menarius, you can go there. Yep. Right, so now we click and move. And the way this works is it's somewhat XCOM in nature. You get one free move within the blue area. And then you can activate each of your things down here. In this case, what's your name? Jeremiah? Jeremiah here has got a macro stubber and a servo skull. So we'll move him up here. And we'll use the servo skull on... This is your servo skull. Now we can use it to do one of two things. We can scan the Necron Warrior to reveal his stats, like his health and armor and stuff. Or we can scan one of these obelisks here to gain a cognition point, which will light up on here. And cognition points, basically, they're like bonus action points. They allow you to do more stuff like move again, or to fire certain weapons that require cognition points to spend to shoot them, things like that. So I'm just going to use it to reveal the stats of the Necron Warrior. So he's got 1 energy, armor, and 6 health. I'm going to skip most of this because I already know what I'm doing. Now I'm going to shoot him with the macro stubber. Great, so now he's run out of stuff to do, so we can't really do anything. If we had any cognition points, we could move him again, perhaps, but we're not going to, so we'll end turn for him. Then he'll go through the initiative steps. He'll get shot in the face by the Necron. Then we go over to Menarius here. So what we'll do is we'll move here. Collect this cognition point on our way. Move up to the edge of the area we're allowed to move in for free. Use the servo skull to grab another cognition point from this one here. Yep, cool. And now we have a choice. We can... Use being weird. Right. We can close it in and use our Omniscient Axe on him. Alternatively, which actually won't cost us any cognition points. So I tell you what we'll do. We'll use the Phosphor Serpenta, which costs 2 cognition to fire. And if he's still alive... Right, there we go. So now, what's happened is I've got him down to 0 health, and Necrons, what they do when they get down to 0 health, unless you crit them, they go down like that, and they have their reanimation protocol. So in, I think, 3 turns, usually, he'll get back up again if I don't basically deal the finishing blow. So, unfortunately, I can't move again now to get over to him because I'm out of cognition points, so we'll just have to stand here and get him next time. And his old mate over there will move. Yeah, then these come back online. So what we'll do is we'll move you over there. Grab a cognition point. Move to the limits of your free movement. Shoot him with that. It doesn't tell you how much damage you do either unless you reveal their statistics. Unless you're using a weapon which does reveal their statistics, which I think this does, the macro stubber, maybe. No, actually, I don't think it does, never mind. So end turn for you. Walk over here. Nick the cognition point from the downed enemy. Whack him with the axe. So he's finished. He'll teleport back to the tomb world. And what we'll then do is we'll move over here, grab another cognition point from that, move over here, fire this at him. So you can get quite a bit done in a turn, as you can see. Just got to harvest that cognition along the way to get the extra moves. I see the Necrons getting some screen time as an enemy as opposed to Chaos and Orcs all the time. Yep. One of the things I like about this game is that it's, and aside from just being a good 40k game, which doesn't come around very often, it's a breath of fresh air in a way, because it isn't, you know, it isn't about Space Marines again, as usual. Like the new Space Hulk tactics is actually not bad. I have played a bit of it. It's all right, but I just switch off a bit because I'm bored of Space Marines in video games. I really am so bored of them. So to have this game come along and have it be about the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Necrons, which are two factions which kind of get a bit, well, completely neglected really in terms of 40k video games. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's great. How far in did I play already? I think I'm about a third of the way in with my sort of offline campaign I was doing. Right, your cohort's 8 HP carries over, right? Yeah, so like the Jeremiah here took some hits. That's not restored at the end of the fight, so we've still got the rest of the tomb to go through before we get to the end, and then we'll get him back and he'll be healed. So, the Necrons didn't do much damage in that fight, you will have noticed, but I can't get that back unless I use a Canicle or something. So... In the chambers ahead are several groups of structures like upright coffins of an unknown material. Ignore, do not tarry to observe the works of the alien, press on and avoid any distractions. Intrigue. Ensure you observe your surroundings carefully, detailed pictographs and readings may be the key to success. Or ignite. Make sure you destroy any structure that looks suspicious. It's worth pausing in your advance to do harm to the Xenos abominations. Let's go for... Ignite! Purge! The tech priests open fire on the sarcophagi. The structures prove all but impermeable to some normal small arms fire, but components of the strange Necron materials are stripped away and can be salvaged by the cohort for examination and repurposing. So we got 2 cognition points saved up for our next battle. So when we start our next battle, we'll have 2 cognition points already in the bank, and that's useful because you use cognition points to deploy extra units in the deployment phase at the beginning. So, and we got some Blackstone. So that's good.
We're watching you, scum.
Zero Livestream, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. I've just realized that I think, yeah, the game's actually covering up the Twitch chat and the alerts right now. Whoops. I will just fix that. There we go. After exploring the chamber for several minutes, a tile underfoot clicks. The sound of wearing energy builds up around your troops. A quick omnispec scan reveals you're surrounded on all sides by Xenos lifeforms. Oh no! Kill all of the enemies. Alright, cool. So, as you can see, we have 4 cognition points at the moment, which is grand. So, what we shall do is we shall divide and conquer, basically. We've got the 2 tech priests there. We'll grab some servitors as well. We'll deploy everything. Use all our cognition and deploy it the lot. 2 types of units to control. Tech priests and troops, yeah. So troops are your completely expendable dudes like these servitors here. There we go. These little fellas. And the They get replenished at the end of every battle. Sometimes the better ones you do pay for. Servitors are free, but you get better troops that you pay Blackstone for. The tech priests here. These are like your XCOM squad members. You know, these guys have names, and you upgrade them and give them better equipment and stuff like that. And when they die, they're gone for good, essentially. So that's how that works. Oh god. And in the servitor's case as well, actually, when they get killed, you gain a cognition point from them, basically, because the tech priests basically watch and observe the poor servitor getting disintegrated, and they learn from it. Like, oh, so that's how that works. So it's actually beneficial to sacrifice your servitors in the pursuit of knowledge, basically. Which is very Mechanicus. I love it. Let's see. You're not a melee guy, so I'll just have you stand out here. Just shoot, I guess, basically. In fact, review the stats. And then shoot you. The other thing about these troops, these regular troops, is you can't use cognition points to extend their movement and stuff. They only get to move as far as they can, normally. So you're a bit limited with what you can do with them. Yep, when servitors are hit in combat, you get cognition points, which is nice. So yes, kill my servitors and give me juicy cognition points like that. With which I can plot your demise. Nah. So I've got 2 cognition points already now, which I can use to fire this. You fools! Brilliant. Let's pinch the cognition off of you. Which will then allow me to move over to you and smack you with my axe. Servo skulls are awesome. And then continue moving over this way. And you, Mr. Servitor, you can go this way. Suddenly Canoptech Scarabs! No! They're annoying. I do love how, like, all of Skibola's like, dialogue bits are basically, they're just sort of like a slightly Adeptus Mechanicus-ified Trump tweet. It's just shouting, do the things, ah! Knowledge, opportunity, gather! Right, this basically happens whenever you encounter a new enemy. You get some more data unlocked from Magos Resex stuff, his expedition, which tells you about the enemies. So yeah, basically these scarabs, they can hit you in close combat. They deal acid damage, which is quite annoying, and also they can heal other Necron units. So best to get rid of them when you can. I need to sneeze. Hey, you see, the flesh is weak. You ever seen a tech priest sneeze? I didn't think so. Right, we'll move you up there and bash the Necron in the face. For an unknown amount of damage, because we've not scanned the little bugger yet. Yep, melee combat, very good. Yeah, so right, I can't shoot now because the scarabs have popped up next to me and I'm in melee range, which is quite irritating, I must say. So let's just move out of melee range. Doing so against some enemies can provoke an attack of opportunity, by the way, so... It's not a brilliant idea to get caught in close combat. Although, on the other hand, if you've got a melee-equipped dude, like this gentleman up here with his Omniscient Axe, it's actually, I found, quite good to engage the Necrons in close combat if you can. Even if you can't actually hit them, just move next to them, so that they have to retreat and then you get an attack of opportunity against them. So, locking up a lot of the Necron units in close combat is a really great way to frustrate and annoy them. So... Yep, there you go. Opportunity attack. Like that. Very good. Another opportunity attack, very good. Just going to finish off that servitor, which I'll get some cognition for. Servitor 00000001 has died. It's almost as if the game expects us to go through a lot of servitors. Right, I can't fire the Serpenter because I don't have enough cognition points. So what I will do is I'll use my one cognition point that I do have to go over there and smack him. He's still not down. That's surprising. You can whack those scarabs. There we go. Right, you... My problem now is that my line of sight is not the best. I got a servitor in the way, so I will try and move you there. Reveal the stats on this dude, and I don't think I have a line of sight to fire, unfortunately. Oh, better yet, I don't even have range, let alone line of sight, but yeah, as you can see, there's a red X there. So this servitor here is in the way, basically. Which is annoying, but it's fine in this particular instance, because we're going to win anyway. Like so. You know, he absorbed that damage because he had physical armor as opposed to energy armor, which is a little bit irritating. But let's just move you out of the way. And bash. There we go. Now we just need to finish him. Well, normally you'd finish him off, but because that was the last guy, it doesn't matter. Brilliant. So now, and again, like the damage to your squad is permanent. So the servitors that I lost and were damaged in that fight will carry over to the end bit here as well. So You have to try and minimize your casualties when you can, because otherwise you make life harder for yourself later on in the mission. It is a beautiful soundtrack, and it's really good. Fragmenting.
What is this? Flesh and steel combined. A mockery of both. Their every footstep a blasphemy. What manner of galaxy is this into which I have awoken?
So, the cohort reaches a large chamber beneath the first layers of the Xenos ruins. Bridges stretch from balancing platforms, barely holding themselves together, while rubble falls away from the high walkways, like breadcrumbs escaping into the abyss below. Contain the Xenos and return to the Cestus Metallicum intact, so it can be revivisected and studied. Fall back. Fall back, get the tech priests out of there. Stand ground, annihilate the Xenos filth with righteous fury. Now, that's what I did the first time. It's virtually impossible to win the fight that occurs as a result. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to try capture. I don't know if I'll have any more success. Probably not.
Insects. This galaxy is infested with vermin.
Right. It's in all probability, it may not matter what you pick for that particular one because we're still in tutorial territory. But later on, it most certainly does have big effects which choices you make. Yes, that's the tutorial saying. Basically, you will probably lose this fight, but it's okay. It's the 41st millennium, and that's just what happens. So, right. Let's see if we can do it. I lost this the first time. Let's see. I'm going to leave the servitors out for now. Just deploy the tech priests. Right, there's an Necron dude, I think. Is there another one up there? There's one there. There's one there. There isn't one here right now, but one will probably emerge from that. So I think the way to win this fight is to actually just kill the little Necron warriors first, and then deal with him afterwards, because I tried it the other way around the first time, and I lost, so... We'll move you there. Grab the cognition points, so we basically get that move for free. And servo skull you? Yeah. And pew pew pew. Oh, disabled right off the bat. Sweet. That's very good. Okay. So I will move you there for another free cognition point. And there's nothing else I can actually do for now. I'll just move you like that. End turn.
I sailed the void for 1,000 years. I fought the war in heaven. What can you do to strike fear in one such as I?
Very little, Agrilek, but I'm going to try nevertheless. Because I'm a human and that's just what I do. A pig-headed unwillingness to look facts in the face will see us through. Let's see. Let's move you this way? Is this way a good idea? Ooh, better yet. Precognition. Do it! Alright. Now, I can move you here. And then I can move you here. Grab this cognition. Then I can scan you. Which... do I want to scan you? No, you know what? I'm actually not going to scan you. I'm going to save that servo skull in case I need to scan something else to get cognition. So what I will do, though, is I will fire this at you. Ah, critted. He's just gone. Dead. Bye. Sweet. And basically, I'm just going to keep kiting and avoiding this guy until I've dealt with all of his minions. That's the general idea here. So, we'll end your turn now. Right. 2 more turns until he gets back up, so I need to quickly finish him off. Ignition from that. And we can call in other members of the cohort as the battle goes on. Yep, there you go. So, I can now deploy more servitors around my tech priests if I wish to. And, I don't know if right now I actually wish to. Actually, I tell you what. What I shall do is deploy a servitor there. You, old mate, can run off this way, I think. Maybe up there? Do I want to go that way? Do I want to go this way? Let's go this way for now. Could fire this at it to finish it off. I could also let the servitor do it. It doesn't really matter either way.
How dare these wretched things stand before the void admiral of Caesaragon?
Nightmare Shroud. That's an ability that allows him to absorb a shitload of damage, I believe. It's quite irritating. But we're not going to deal with him just yet. Right. Grab that cognition. Servo skull to grab that cognition. Whee! Thank you very much. And now move up this way? Ah, bastard Necron's taking cover. I can't shoot him. What is the range on this thing? Quite extensive. I think for now, I'm going to leave you there. Save that cognition. You can melee this guy. Gives us 4 cognition and scuttle away. Scuttle, scuttle, scuttle. Take cover behind that. Now, some more might spawn out of these obelisk things at some point. That is a thing that may well occur. Let's deploy a servitor there. Alright. I think... let's reveal his stats. He's got 40 health. And 5 physical armor as well, so... that's ridiculous. The macro stubble will not go through his armor. It will reduce some of his armor, though, I think. So... we'll pop out there. I don't think I'm even in range to shoot him, to be fair, anyway, so yeah, no, I'm not. Forget it. So we'll just chill there. It's fine. It's cool.
When my fleet sails once more, vermin like you shall be strung from my prow.
Can you just deactivate those obelisks? I don't think so. Not right now, at least. But there's only a finite number of Necrons that come out of them, so... but hello there. Just gonna wipe out that servitor. Yep. That is unfortunate, but that's what the servitors exist to do. Get wiped out by stuff. Pretty much. Excuse the coughing, folks. Let's move you like that. Smack you in the face. And turn. We'll move you here. Pew, pew, pew. Dead. Kind of dead. Not totally dead yet, but will be dead very soon. And... we'll move you next to this. And as soon as that comes online, he gets the cognition point just for being next to it. Which is marvellous. Marvellous. Deploy our last servitor with 1 health left from earlier. There. Because why not? We'll hop around the corner. Shoot you. Probably not do any damage, I imagine. Oh, we did a bit of damage. Alright, cool. And then run away. Hide.
Do not think to challenge us. We who killed our gods.
Then he goes Nightmare Shroud, so now his armor's all powered up. Wipes out that servitor. I was hoping I was hoping to hit him at least once with that, but never mind. I should have paid more attention to the initiative steps, I suppose. But hey ho. Alright. Let's whack you. Have you teleport away. And then we'll move you in this direction, I guess. And now you, Manarius. What shall we do with you? We shall have you move this way. Collect some cognition from this. Maybe? Actually, can I shoot you from here? Haha, I can. Sweet. And this is energy damage, so it should ignore his physical armor he's got there, so... yeah. Eat this. Oh, 6 damage. Yeah, nice. Alright, and we will run you... I was going to run you over there, but I can't because I don't have cognition, so we'll get some cognition from that with the servo skull. Allowing you to now move there. Marvellous. And I think there you shall stay put for now. I don't want to get in... I do have my omniscient axe, but I don't want to get in melee range of this dude, because he'll just do that sweep attack and murder me, so... We want to kite him and stay at range. Hello. Ah. Machine Spirit is charged. When you do a certain number of attacks with a weapon, its Machine Spirit becomes charged, and you get a bonus. In this case, for the macro stubber, it's just +1 damage, which is nice. This probably won't do anything because he's got his Nightmare Shroud up. So, but that's fine. Tell you what, I'll use my servo skull to harvest one of these obelisks, like that one over there, because it's a million miles away, and I'll never get to it via movement. So. We'll grab that. Put a cognition point, and then we will shoot you for 0 damage. But it's the principle of the thing, you know, you understand. And I won't run into there because then I'll just get boxed in and I'll be in all sorts of heaps of trouble. So we'll run away in this direction. I want to say no, up here. We'll go this way. Bye. In fact, I'll run extra far. Just to make sure he doesn't catch up with me. There we go. Cool. End turn.
Can you hear the trembling of the stars? Can you feel the whole galaxy's terror?
Ah, dickhead, he switched to energy armor. That's annoying. Ooh, he was closer than I thought he was there. That's not good. Alright, random servitor this way. Alright, well. What we could do... Ah, but we'll do in that provoke an attack of opportunity. It might. Let's try and avoid it then, in that case. Ooh. That will apparently do a bit of damage. Oh, critical! Oh, get wrecked! Yes, big stupid skeleton. Right. This seems like a really bad idea. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Just run. Grab that. Xenos contained? What? Oh, sweet. We won. We didn't actually have to kill him. We just had to sort of get him down to a certain number of health. The cohort successfully survived the Xenos life forms. Yes, there you go. That's the... Right, so that's the Necron Awakening thing. That will now be in the top left for the rest of the game, pretty much. So the more missions we do, the more time we take, the more this bar will fill. When it gets to 100%, it's game over, because the Tomb World is fully reanimated, and we're boned, basically. There we go. Yes, we explained this earlier, but the reason it sounds weird when they talk is because that's what normal humans hear when the Mechanicus communicates with one another. Because they communicate, they don't speak out loud. They communicate via bursts of information over the noosphere between them. So, and what humans hear is just that kind of weird dubstep-y kind of gibberish. So... Okay, so this tomb is bathed in a sickly green light that serves not to illuminate, but only to make the shadows deeper. Every surface seems connected via filaments of alien light. The design here speaks of a Xenos tech heresy. Forbidden knowledge and a structure as alive and aware as anything inhabiting it. Early exploratory readings indicate the walls are made of substances not known to the rituals of metallurgy. Abstract designs carved into this substance suggest unknown regions of space, mapped according to some alien understanding. The weight of such blasphemy slows the steps of the first troops to enter here. The heresies of knowledge are deadly enough, but it seems unlikely they are the only dangers here. Yep, and this is basically our main HQ screen. There's our main dude up here on his throne. You got Scaevola over there, I think that is, and you've got Videx. And the others are hanging around somewhere as well, so... Right. So, this is our mission progress overall. We've got the first 2 sectors unlocked. And we can get missions for them from these 2 here, from Scaevola and Videx, and the other characters will unlock and provide us with missions as well as the game goes on. We can also go look at our cohort. Skip the tutorial text. You're very helpful, Redditus. He's the guy speaking in the intros, in the opening cinematic, by the way. So we got our 2 Megoses here. We've got Servitors, and as you can see, all of these are different troop types that we can unlock throughout the course of the game. In fact, I think these are troop types, these 4 up here, and these big ones here. And I think these 6 here, these are for tech priests, but I'm not sure. So we can have a little look at them. Tech priest customization screen. This is one of the fun parts of the game. You can customize your tech priests quite a bit. So you got weapons. We'll give you a power axe for now, for example. And he will give him a phosphor blast pistol as well. Except we can't because he doesn't have enough equipment slots or augment slots. So what we'll do is we'll go disciplines, and we will level him up in a discipline, which will give him more slots, as well as some other bonuses. So we can be an explorator, a secutor, a tech auxilium, a lex mechanic, an engine seer, or a dominus. So this guy I'm going to make a dominus, I think. Enhanced weapons, +4 range for ranged weapons. Sure. That's cost us Blackstone, so now we got +4 range for ranged weapons, and also we unlocked another augment capacity thing. So that means I can now give him this. So he's got his power axe and a phosphor blast pistol, which is very nice. We can move over to Jeremiah here. We'll give him... basically do the same with him. We'll make him... Ooh, we'll make him... Now, you can level up in multiple different ones as well. You don't have to stick with one once you've picked it. So... Why the devotion to the status quo? Oh, it's a long story. Yeah, 40k is very, very inspired by Dune, actually. These guys in particular are very Dune. Lax Mechanic is a good one. Because you get that cognition point at the beginning of the turn every time, which is very nice. Tech Auxilium is nice as well, because your next weapon attack doesn't require cognition points to use at all. But you can use that once every 3 turns, which is nice. Explorator, move faster. Secutor, +1 damage, +4 meters of movement, blah blah blah. So you can use your servo skull on a friendly unit to give him a buff. I'm gonna go with Tech Auxilium for this guy, I think. I went with Secutor last time, I didn't find it as useful. So you can have a Phosphor Blast pistol as well. That's all we've got to play with for now. Well, as this goes on, we'll unlock so many different bits of equipment to play with. It'll get quite ridiculous, in fact. So, very good. And you can see his loadout down here at the bottom of the screen too. So, back to mission. There's the tech screen, which will tell us basically all the stuff we've unlocked. So yeah. These are all the different types of troops in the game. There's a wide variety, as you can see. Ship stuff. I have never gotten around to upgrading any of this, actually, in the parts of the game I did play myself. And then you've got canticles, which are buffs type things you can use once per mission each. So, and you can take 3 canticles on each mission. So right now we've got the Litany of Life, which restores health on an active unit, and there's loads of them. There's frickin' loads of these things, and you unlock them by doing stuff. Like, complete 1 mission without using a canticle will unlock Cant of the Craft. Complete 5 missions will get Litany of Life level 2. And so on and so on and so on. Use 5 canticles will get Benediction of Omniscience. So, yeah. Right, let us do a mission. So, as a reward for this one, we'll get Infestus Mechadendrite, which is an upgrade, Omnispecs, which is also an upgrade. And some of these, as you can see, they require cognition points to use. We'll get some Blackstone, and those are the enemies we'll face. Alternatively, we could do this one, which will give us a Curatio Mechadendrite Curatio Claw, Blackstone. So, basically healing items, these. These aren't amazing rewards, so I guess we'll just go with this one. The Killing Jar. Tech Acquisitor Scaevola wishes to begin her research into the secrets of the Necrons and has asked for specimens of the enemy to be gathered from the Tomb of Icropis. So let's go for it. You choose which tech priests and troops to take on a mission. There's our Arvus Lighter, which is kind of like our Sky Ranger, if you've played XCOM. So we'll bring both the tech priests and a bunch of servitors, which we can get for free. And we have the Litany of Life, and we'd have 2 more canticle slots, but we don't have any more canticles to bring with us, unfortunately. So, deploy! Since you didn't watch the beginning, why are we awakening a tomb? Well, we came here looking for a previous Magos who disappeared here. And now the place has been awoken. We're doing our best to basically destroy it or shut it down or whatever before they all wake up. When does that happen, Madmidon? Because that sounds a bit daft, even for 40k. Because the whole orc machines work because orcs think they do things is a bit of a meme. That's not actually how it works at all. That's kind of a meme that has been spread, and that's not really how it works in the lore. Sorry. You're not sure, yeah. For some reason, I'm not surprised that you're not sure, because that sounds made up to me. So the orc just outfield thing, basically what it chiefly does is the more orcs you get and the more they fight, the bigger they get, essentially. That's what the chief purpose of it is. The bigger they get, the more orcs become attracted to the big war boss that's at the center of it all, and that's how it goes. Beyond that, the rest of it is all in-universe speculation. So there's this idea that, for example, orc tech only works because orcs believe it works, and therefore it works because of their psychic gestalt field. Now, the reason that the Imperials came up with that idea was because they found some orc weapons when they looted them from orc corpses and tried to use them, they didn't function correctly. And basically, one possible reason the Imperials came up with this is because essentially the Mechanicus believe that every machine has a machine spirit, and that's what allows it to function. And Xenos machines, well, they don't have a machine spirit because they're heretical and stuff. So they decided to come up with a reason that the orc machines actually work, and that is because, oh yeah, it's a psychic gestalt field thing. Yeah, sure. It's not because we have a complete misunderstanding of the way technology works ourselves. No, it's a psychic thing that is taking the place of the machine spirit. But why is red faster? Because evil sons, which are the orcs that like to go fast, paint their stuff red. It's a chicken and the egg thing here. They're not faster because they're red. They're red because they're fast. It's just red as a result of that is the color commonly associated with speed by orcs. Basically, if you want to learn about how orcs operate and how they work and stuff like that, to a point at least, you know, bearing in mind there's always that in-universe bias and misinformation, you should read the Beast Arises series of novels, because that delves right into all that orc stuff. Right. Anyway. Yes, Scaevolas from Styges 8. Which basically means that the only reason Scaevola's here is because she wants to just loot Xenos technology. Because that's what Styges 8 people are always all about. They're constantly into the studying of alien technology and stuff. And get into all sorts of trouble with the rest of the Mechanicus as a result of it. The dialogue in this game is quality. Alright, pardon me. Right. The chamber ahead has suffered damage from the shifting of the landscape above. Several dozen tiny beetle-shaped constructs are scurrying about industriously as they repair the damage. Acquire plus, in fact. Attempt to collect several of the scarabs. It is in how they act as a group that the greatest insights will be found. Ignore. There is not the time for such deviations from the mission. Ignore the scarabs. Or acquire. Collect a couple of scarabs for study. Let's do that. Cohort snatch up a pair of scarabs, placing them in specimen vaults for later study. The other scarabs, evidently reacting to the loss of some of their number, rapidly redeploy across the chamber to maintain maximum efficiency in their work. This shows a great deal of coordination among the tiny constructs. Right. So look, you see at the top left there, we've also got the Tombs Awake level now. So the longer we take in here, the more side passages we choose to explore and stuff, deviating from the main objective, the more Necrons will awaken, and the more this goes up, the more, well, to begin with, you'll face just more Necrons in combat in general, but also they'll begin to receive buffs as well. So the longer you take, the more difficult the battles will be, because more and more Necrons are awakening. One of the Necron warforms remains after the rest of the fallen constructs teleport away. It fades in and out of reality as if about to disappear. Extract. Grab the Necron for transport back to the Cestus Metallicon. Extrapolate. Take targeted sensor readings of the Necron as it phases out. Or execute. The Necron may not be deactivated. Ensure it is destroyed. Let's extrapolate. The cohort's auspexes detect various exotic particles and radiation types as the Necron's phasing out process is eventually completed. We got more cognitions. We got full cognition now, which is pretty sweet. And then we got these. He did indeed just have a 404 error, and our presence has been detected. Yes, the Necrons are waking in response to our presence. Very good. Now we found a glyph. This panel controls a heavy door leading to a treasure room beyond, which is filled with cognition. If we can work out the right commands, then we can reap the rewards within. Now, you'll get these come up repeatedly different little scenarios like this involving glyphs. And what you have to do is basically, through trial and error, like a true tech priest, figure out which of the glyphs are the good ones and which are the bad ones for a given situation. So if we pick the right glyph, it'll open and we'll get cognition. If we pick the wrong one, some sort of trap will probably activate and damage us. So, now, for all I know, these glyphs could be randomized on every different playthrough, but when I last played, I think it was this one to open it. No. Okay, never mind. It might be randomized then, or I just didn't remember. A container of some sort that seemingly has raw binary seething within. Clearly is of Xenos origin. Sparks of data leak through the aged sealant used to contain the treasure within. And the servitor took some damage. Let's have a bash at another one then. This panel controls a heavy door leading to a treasure room beyond, which is filled with cognition. Yeah. So... okay. I think that was the one we used last time, so let's try this one. There we go. And it healed the servitor. Alright, so broke even. Right. Delicious binary. Yummy data. Right. So... we've got 2 Necrons over here. More obelisks. 1 big obelisk, which is full of loads of cognition, which can be harvested multiple times. And a bunch of these things here, which Necrons might come walking out of, so... alright, we will deploy... you there. You there. Couple of servitors as well. There we go. Alright, you can move this way. You can delay your turn. You can... grab cognition from that. And then use it to run over there and scan this. Which gave us some blackstone. Quite a bit of blackstone, actually. It's not bad. And you can move there. And harvest some more cognition with the servo skull. Yummy, yummy cognition. Gotta love it. Alright. We're not in range to shoot anything, so we'll end turn. Seems like a pretty good game. This is a good game. It's a very good game. I've played it quite a lot while I was off sick, and I've been really enjoying it. Dead servitor. That's fine, because I get cognition. Yay! Hapless pawn sacrificed once again. Right, let's just move you up here. Shoot you in the face. Move you here. Harvest some cognition. Move there. Smack you with the power axe. Didn't finish you off, but I might get an attack of opportunity once he tries to move away from me, so that's good. And this servitor can just wander off in this direction. And I tell you what, we'll bring in 2 more servitors next to this guy. Hooray! Alright, run over and grab that. Grab that cognition and use it to move here. And that gun, when you shoot someone with it, it gives you their stats, which is nice. Reveals target statistics. There you go, the Phosphor Blast pistol, which is jolly nice, all things considered. I tell you what, does this require... Yeah, this does require cognition to use this power axe, so if I move up there, I'll be next to the guy, but I won't actually be able to hit him because I won't have any cognition left, which is a bit of a shame. So, unless I move there, get a free point from this to refund the one I just spent, and do that. Efficiency! Alright, and now you can attack him and finish him off, I hope. There we go. And we get an opportunity attack as he tries to move away, and he's been downed, and we win, basically. Fascination intensifies. Cognition is like, well, it's like bonus action points, essentially. You can do stuff for free. You get a certain amount of movement per turn for free, and certain actions you can do for free, like some weapons don't require cognition to use, for example. Your servo skull doesn't require cognition to use. But you need cognition to power certain abilities. So to get extra movement, for example, on your tech priests, or to fire certain weapons or use certain abilities. So cognition is kind of, it's your vital resource for spending on making your tech priests do extra stuff. Or for deploying additional units, because that costs cognition as well. So... Upon destruction, the Necron constructs vanish, leaving no samples to be collected. Analyze. Thoroughly search the chamber for any components that might have been missed by the teleportation effect. Archive. Take picked grabs of the damage from the Necron weapons. At least this information may be of use. Or abandon. Move on, hoping the next combat will yield useful samples. Let's archive. And we got this, Energy Enhancer. Costs 1 cognition to use, has a cooldown of 3 turns. All energy attacks gain +2 energy damage for 1 round. Cohort returns from the tomb frustrated by the lack of physical samples of Necron constructs. However, the data they have gathered on the phasing out Necron remains is illuminating in itself. My emotional cores are returning sensations of frustration and resentment, and I choose to acknowledge them. And we got rewards, yay! And as you can see, for each level that we're in the tomb for and that awakening increases, it adds a percentage to the overall awakening thing there. So the longer we take in missions, the more the awakening bar increases. So there are additional benefits to be found from, you know, exploring the tombs. But the more you explore individual tombs, the less tombs you can actually explore in the first place. So the less missions you can do overall, because this awakening bar will continue to increase. So, and we got a new counter goal. We got Cant of the Craft. The next physical attack will deal +3 physical damage. Though they flee and cower from us, the unrighteous shall find nowhere beyond our reach. You bet bad things will happen when that reaches 100%. It's game over when that reaches 100%. The works of the enemy. Alright, what are the rewards for this then? Noise reductor. Reveal all enemy statistics in a circle area. That's another upgrade. Cognition gauge, max size increased by +1. That's very good. And we'll be fighting Flayed Ones and Necron Warriors on this one. Well, we'll do that in a second. I just want to go back to the cohort screen and do some tinkering. So we got these. Unfortunately, I don't have any free augment slots right now, but if I were to upgrade you, I could unlock a piece of equipment. Body parts a bit specific to this discipline, so we can have a Dominus Torso, which will give us +3 HP and +1 energy armor. Leg augments would give us +3 HP and +3 meters of movement. Head augment, +2 HP and +1 energy armor, and Dominus arm augments, +1 energy damage. I'm going to go with the leg augments, because more movement is always nice. So now, we have Dr. Octopus legs, which is very nice. I did use up our remaining augment slot, however, so I can't equip one of these, or at least I could if I chose to unplug the power axe or the blast pistol. So, but I'm going to leave them both in for now, because that additional round of damage output from a melee weapon is more valuable to me at the moment than any of these upgrades at the moment. So 114 Blackstone left. We can't upgrade you, I'm afraid, because we don't have enough. But hey. Sorry, Jeremiah.
We're watching you, scum.
Schizophrenic mentality. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub.
We're watching you, scum.
And Valernos as well, cheers for the Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate it. There are many streamers on this platform who you could choose to give it to. I appreciate that you chose me. Right. Let's go. Let's bring both the tech priests, a bunch of servitors. Eventually we will unlock some more troop types, which will make things very interesting. Reaction. Delight! Yay! A new type of warform to study! Oh yeah, that's right. I could equip a second canticle. They'll be fine. Honestly, I'm trying not to use them at the moment because I want to get those unlocks for not using them. So we'll probably be fine. The mission difficulty is easy after all, so if we do 3 missions in a row without using any canticles, we'll unlock a new one, so the Scaevola character sounding kind of heretical. That's the point. Scaevola's from Styges 8, and they're all heretics on Styges 8. They're constantly getting into trouble for it. Heretics. Heretics, actually, I believe is the correct term. Heretekes. Heretics. Oh, Bagovo's got it. There you go. They have a specific word for it. Jingles. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. How do they not have Inquisition out the exhaust port? Because they basically the reason they don't is because they keep rewriting Imperial records constantly with a virus. I think it is to ensure that they're not discovered. There's like multiple computer viruses in Imperial databases that were put there by the guys on Styges 8, basically to delete any record of anything they've ever done. Right. Well, you gotta get all the way down there. Let's go this way. This chamber is the site of a skirmish between a unit of Skitarii and the Necron destroyers. A few corpses, badly mauled by Gauss fire, lie around a hurriedly erected flak weave barricade. Peruse! Examine the marks of weapon fire and other evidence for information on the Necron destroyers' combat tactics. Procure. Search the fallen for useful supplies. Pray. Say a prayer for the fallen, marking the joining of their intelligences with the machine god. Let's just pray. Oh dear, that was a bad idea. Yes, it was. The cohort's members speak the rites of untroubled repose. The time taken sets back mission progress, but grants them a rare sense of righteous calm. So the Necrons now have more initiative in combat, and awakening is increased by 1. Which is not good. That was a mistake. Mistakes were made. Bring it to me. The cohort finds a sarcophagus containing a Necron destroyer that seems inert. It may have malfunctioned and failed to respond to the tomb's awakening protocols. Take. Open the sarcophagus and try to retrieve the destroyer inside. That strikes me as a terrifically bad idea. Trash. Destroy the sarcophagus. It will be 1 fewer Necron to fight. Or tag. Mark the sarcophagus location for Skitarii units to retrieve when they can. Let's do that. A nearby Skitarii unit enters the chamber a few minutes later, but they are unable to open the sarcophagus safely. Instead, they take pick grabs and samples that help describe the Necron's awakening mechanisms. Plus 2 CP. Yeah, they look like that in battle as well.
This panel controls a heavy door leading to treasure, blah blah blah. Alright, so let's try this one. Yes, that's the correct one. Excellent. Got some blackstone out of that. Try and make a mental note now. That's the glyph you want for opening the doors. Text of the oiled cog. Version 1. Version 12. Is that version 12 or is it volume 12? Like, it's probably both, knowing the Adeptus Mechanicus, I mean. Okay. I'm not going to bring in any servitors yet. Right, see, because of our little cock-up earlier, they now have +1 initiative, so they're doing stuff before me, which I do not like. I do not like it. I do not appreciate it. I shall scan that. Get a cognition point. And I shall move over here. Over here? Yeah, over here. Well, actually, you know what? Use up all the damn movement. I got it now. Alright. And... Pew pew. You know what? We'll melee the guy as well. Might get an attack of opportunity on him if he tries to move away. So... As far as I can tell, he doesn't have any kind of melee weapon, so he will probably try and move away. Right, he gets to move quite far now because he's got his octopus legs. Right. Let's see if we can collect some cognition. Yeah. Who doesn't like extra cognition? And I'll use that to move up there and maybe get an extra. I can't attack you, don't have enough cognition for that, but I might be able to get an extra attack of opportunity. We'll see. Well, funnily enough, it's only these Necrons specifically. Some Necrons have completely different color schemes. He's dead! Sweet! That's why you tie them up in close combat. Just nuke to destroy with our axes. Sweet. Alright. What we shall do is attack with our axe. Yep. I know. Machine spirit stuff. We went over this earlier. So we'll whack you with the axe. So he's teleported away now. We'll move up this way. And shoot this guy? No? Okay, I can't. I could scan that or destroy it. I'm going to shoot it. Because otherwise something might pop out of it that I don't like. Yeah, I prefer the it's a bit boring, but I do prefer the silver Necrons with green, personally. I honestly do. My Necrons kind of look like that. Although mine have bronze shoulder bits and some other bronze bits here and there, but yeah, essentially that's what mine look like. I like the classic look. I started collecting Necrons in 3rd edition when they were first released as an army, and that's what they used to look like back then, pretty much all uniformly, so that's what Necrons will always look like to me. But they do come in lots of different colours. It's true. I just happen to believe that the classic silver and green is the best. I've tried to come up with other paint schemes for Necrons, and I've never managed to come up with anything that looked better, honestly, so... Bonk. That was quite good. Scarabs. No. And another neck one. Neck one? Neck one warrior? I am Tech Priest Jonathan Wass. Apparently. Right, no. We'll shoot you. Then close in and melee. Hello. What? Oh, I don't have enough cognition points. Well, we can fix that. Good old servo skull. Now I shall smack you in the face. Get wrecked. By the will of the Omnissiah, you shall get wrecked. I probably should have popped the ability that would allow me to attack without using my cognition points then, but never mind. I'll probably use it next turn instead. Right, you. Only 1 damage. Heresy. Ugh. Damage rolls are not very good. Oh, I'll just stay there, get my attack of opportunity. Ah, excellent. Let's deploy a servitor. Which will then immediately get shot in the face. How irritating. Let's see. Let's eliminate you. I could have stood to wait a couple of turns with that one, but he's fine. He's fine. Right, that's them eliminated. And I shall now move and tie you up in close combat. Hello! Opportunity attack, and that's why you tie them up in close combat, because you get opportunity attacks. It's awesome. I recommend it. Alright, some very angry sounding binary. It's not quite dealt with. There we go. scan this while we're at it. Hey, Blackstone! It's good stuff to have, you know. Yeah, it's interesting. They have those little bayonet things on them, don't they? But they just don't seem to use them in this game. They always, like, exclusively try to engage you in ranged combat. Unless they've got, like, a big pointy spear staff thing like that guy I had earlier, so... The cohort withdraws from the tomb, having experienced the prowess of the Necron's destroyers firsthand. If nothing else, the Adeptus Mechanicus have learned of the stark danger these Necron warforms pose. Apparently, though, if you get just 2 Tech Priests next to one of them and then you bash them a few times, they die. So I don't see the big deal, personally. I like that. Projected beneficiary Stygies. I mean Mechanicus. Yeah, well, you know, the lore and the actual game are 2 separate things at the end of the day. Like, let's be honest, yeah, okay, Necrons are, like, really tough and indestructible in the books and stuff, but in both this and the tabletop game, they generally suck in close combat, so... Like, on the tabletop, Necron warriors are pretty shit in close combat as well, so... Platitude mode. Trust in the scientific method, Megos. It's another 3% of the bar. Alright. And we unlocked, yeah, completed 2 missions without using a canonical, so we unlocked kind of the craft level 2, I think. Sweet! Also, I think we unlocked another cognition point slot as well, so we can have 5 points saved up now. Volkite Blaster is really good. I want it. This is mission difficulty normal, apparently. Ah, yes. Death marks. Iconoptic Acanthrite. This is actually kind of a tricky one. I'm going to leave this for later. As much as I want that Volkite Blaster, I am going to leave this one for later, because I think we ought to upgrade a few times before we attempt it. Because I've done it before! I remember it. Also, you can customize faction. You can change the color of your outfit. Look, we could be Stygies 8. There you go, black and red. Go back to Mars for now, eh? Paint job hype! Right. You, Mr. Tech Auxilium. That's just a really powerful ability, that one. I kind of wanted that. I'm not sure how much I care about the rest of these. So, I think I might go branch into Lex Mechanic next. Generate 1 cognition point at the beginning of the unit's turn. Right, yeah, so here's my plan for this guy, basically. I've given him this, so he can fire a weapon once per 3 turns without requiring cognition points to use. And I'm going to give him this Lex Mechanic one, Enhanced Analytics, so he can generate a cognition point for free at the beginning of the unit's turn. So basically this guy, he's going to just be farming all of the cognition points constantly. And the reason for that is because I want to give him the Volkite Blaster when I unlock it. And the Volkite Blaster is really, really fucking good, but it requires 3 CP to fire it each time, which is a lot. So basically, I want to have this guy just farming loads of CP constantly, so that he can fire the Volkite pretty frequently. That's the plan. Anyway, so we'll take that. Which also gives me another augment slot in the meantime, which is very nice. So we'll go for one of these upgrades, I guess. This. I could have another gun. That's a thing. Would I rather have just another gun? What about these? All energy attacks gain plus 2 energy damage for 1 round. Knocks back and deals 2 physical damage. Target has 50% chance to miss you with its attacks. And reveal all enemy. Yeah, I'll just take a pair of phosphor blasters. Why not? Sounds fun to me. I wonder how the maths on it works versus having 2 phosphor blasters or being able to boost once every 3 turns by 2 energy. The maths probably works out in favor of just having a pair of phosphor blasters, I imagine. But hey, alright, cool. And then Menarius here, with his octopus legs. We shall... Can we upgrade you? Oh, we most certainly can. Alright. Attack Protocol Servo Skull. Deals 1 damage to target. Yeah, so when I scan an enemy with the Servo Skull, it'll deal a point of damage to it as well, which is alright. Avoid all opportunity attacks, plus 3 meters to movement. Secutor. I think if I get a 3rd Tech Priest, which I probably will at some point, I might make him a Secutor. Because by the time I get a 3rd Tech Priest, I will actually have some decent troop units that can benefit from this stuff. Right now, using this kind of on Servitors is sort of a bit of a waste. So for now, I'll just take that. Which gives us another augment slot, which I will... That looked weird. Which I will... What will I do with it? That would allow me to make an extra melee attack. I think for now I'll just give you another Phosphor Blaster. We've not unlocked any more weapons yet, which is a little odd. By this point previously when I played this, I'd unlocked at least a couple more weapons by now, but hey. Anyway. I'm pretty sure these rewards are slightly random, so... let's see. Lecter Dogmatis Videx. Has requested the deployment of a sensor servitor to fumigate the tomb of Agrelek and cleanse its spiritual corruption. His missions are always a hoot because they're just so preposterously stupid. Sure. And Canticles will take Count of the Craft and Count of the Craft level 2. Actually, that's level 2, that's level 1. But I don't intend to use any again this time. So I can unlock level 3. I called you here, Elector Dogmatis Videx, because your knowledge of spiritual matters and the cult Mechanicus will be crucial in dealing with any moral threats here on Silverton Eberus. I have 543,021 works of scripture stored for rapid context topical retrieval. There is no obstacle beyond my capacity to counsel you on. Unnecessary use of cognitive power. Waste of resources, Videx. Insufficient use. Go to Augmentic Bay for improvements. Blasphemy reeks from every corner of the tomb. So his plan is to cleanse the spiritual corruption with incense. Basically just going to go down here and squirt air freshener around the Necron tomb. Off we go! While traversing this chamber, the sensor servitor crosses a part of the floor that collapses under the machine's weight. The servitor is trapped at the bottom of a shaft of machinery and pipework and must be extricated. Manual labor? Climb into the hole and haul the servitor out manually. Mechanics? Fashion a system of pulleys and ropes to haul the machine out of the hole. Or magnetism? Exhort the servitor to overload its magnetic levitation circuits. Let's try the manual labor. Ah, damn. Awakening increased by 1 and Servitor took 3 damage. Oh well. Right, where's the... Ah, let's go this way then. Let us not waste any more time, because this is happening. Most perturbatory. That's a reference. That's a reference right there. This chamber's walls are covered in elaborate star charts, covered in extensive annotations in the Necron language, suggesting they record journeys among the stars. Interest. Take picked captures of the star maps. They may prove informative. Ignorance. Ignore them. The intellectual pursuits of the Necrons are of no interest to us. We must make haste. Iconoclasm. Destroy them. Our purpose here is to purify the tomb, and the works of the alien should not be suffered to exist. This interest. Okay. Quite unexpectedly, a previously unused Voxcaster unit pops out of the servitor's face panel. In a synthesized voice, it attempts to engage the cohort in philosophical discussion. Exercise. Rip out the servitor's Voxcaster unit. Examine. Perform a diagnostic on the machine to determine the source of this behavior. Engage. Continue the conversation with the machine. I'm gonna do it. It's so daft. Oh dear, we lost a cognition point. The machine proves erudite and persuasive as it extols the virtues of the worship of the Omnissiah as innovator. Unfortunately, the cohort recognized this as an ancient tech heresy. The cohort hurriedly rip out the servitor's Voxcast unit before it can continue to speak its lies. The sensor servitor stops moving and starts belching pungent smoke. The runes of attention are blinking on its chassis, indicating several key systems require maintenance. This fucking servitor, man. Holy shit. Secondary repair. Perform the ritual of replacement on the servitor's key systems. Primary maintenance. Perform the most perfunctory rites of repairing. Tertiary diagnostic. Perform the entire rite of refurbishment, including the incantation of 7 diagnostic processes and addendum fabricatoris. Let's do this. Ugh. The repairs are made to the servitor. Thorough repairs are made to the servitor, but it takes time. A mission can ill afford. Yeah, damn it. Kill all enemies. With pleasure. Yeah, that'll do for now, honestly. Right. What do we have? Right. Go ahead and move up there. That's a little moving platform that'll take us over there, I believe, if we stand on it. Scan that. 79 Blackstone, sweet. Hop on the platform. Can we shoot anybody? Yes, we can. Pew pew. Yes, physical armor and not energy armor, which means my pew pews will damage him. Very good. And we'll pinch a bit of cognition while we're at it as well, I think. Very good. He gets cognition from his enhanced analytics, which is nice. And he can run over here. Yeah. Damn, can't quite shoot anybody. What's the problem? The out of range? Or is it line of sight? Ah! Most irritating. There we go. Gotcha, critical, sweet. I don't even have to go over there and finish him off. Sentences that could easily be taken out of context. Oh boy, alright. Do you want to deploy a servitor? No. Is there a way to speed up the animations? Not that I'm aware of. I've never felt the need to speed them up, to be honest. They're pretty snappy as is. Scan. Give me that sweet, sweet black stone. Really? Oh, there's a damn rock pillar thing in the way. That's annoying. Tell you what then. I shall have that. He's got energy armor, which is quite irritating. I shall shoot him anyway. Or cognition farming for the win. And what do I want to do with you? If I move there, can I see you? No. Oh well. I guess I'll just scan you. And scoot back over there when we hit in turn and go to the next one, and there we go. Finished him off with an attack of opportunity. Alright, and now I will deploy a couple of servitors. For the purposes of bashing this Necron in the face. Like so. Oh, 4 damage. That was pretty good. Alright, let's finish you off. Very good. And scoot on over here. In fact, you can scoot all the way down there, because you'll get some free cognition on the way through. From that. And in addition, I can harvest some more with the servo skull and move again. Marvellous. Hello. I can't use the power axe again. I already used it once this turn, but now I'm right in his face, so which is excellent news. That's where we want to be. I'm gonna get the mother of all attacks of opportunity if he moves now. Better yeah, we can just trap him. Or shoot him. Either works. That should do it, I think. Yep. The sensor servitor reaches a location where the air currents through the tomb will take its sacred exudations to every corner of the tomb. The cohort guards it until its incense is fully deployed and can escort it back to the tomb entrance. That's very generous of you, Jemmy Bear, but I actually already have it, so... The weak in mind will seek to understand the Xenos. The strong in mind will destroy them and bless their ignorance. Ah, 40k. You aren't half daft. Yay, stuff. And we're up to 9% already. Ugh. And we got level 3 of Canada Craft, which is very good. Plus 9 physical damage for an attack. That's super good. Alright, folks. I'm going to go ahead and drop a save here. Stream 1. Because I'm afraid that's about all I can do tonight. I ain't quite fully healed yet, folks. And I need to go get some decongestant tablets and stuff, because I'm feeling a bit snotty right now. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Mechanicus is bloody good fun. I really like this game. It's awesome. They did a really good job with this. Amazing, really, considering this developer. I think they've only made one game prior to this, which was just some sort of random puzzle game. That's their entire back catalogue, so to come out with this is impressive. So, you know, good for them. Anyway, so I'll play more of this, I think, next week. We'll continue our exploration of the Tomb World next Monday. On Wednesday, we'll be streaming 2 games, hopefully. I should have recovered from my cold completely by then, in which case we'll be fine. On Wednesday, we're streaming some Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and World in Conflict. So, the former is difficult to describe, to be honest with you, Legacy of Kain. It's a series that I missed out on back in the day, because it was at a time when I didn't have a PlayStation. But it is a series much beloved by lots of people, and after having played a little bit of it to make sure it actually works, I can see why, because it has a very cool story and stuff. And World in Conflict is an RTS, a strategy game, that's basically just think Red Dawn, except it's an RTS. And you get the idea with World in Conflict. It's a really cool RTS from back in the day that actually had very good multiplayer, but also had a really, really good single-player campaign, which is what we'll be playing. It's got a great big single-player story campaign like they used to do for real-time strategy games in the olden days. Although, to be fair, World in Conflict isn't that old, honestly. It's one of the more recent of those older games that used to do story campaigns. But anyway, so that's really good too. We'll be playing both of those on Wednesday. And, of course, on Friday, we will be continuing where we left off with Fallout New California, which is basically, we did the prologue, and now we're going into the main game, essentially, now, in our next stream with that, so... yeah. Are you playing the Russian campaign too? Well, there isn't a Russian campaign. The Soviet Assault expansion for World in Conflict basically just adds missions to the existing campaign where you play as the Russians briefly, in addition to the Americans. So it's not actually 2 separate campaigns, it just adds more missions to the main campaign. But yeah, I do have the Soviet Assault expansion, so we'll be playing those missions too. So yeah. Right. That's it from me, folks. Let's see if there's anyone we can go raid. By the Omnissiah, go forth and spread word of the machine god. Although I believe it's a Monday night, so there's probably nobody streaming. Yeah, I'm right. There's no one else to raid. I'm sorry. We have to content ourselves with not spreading the machine god's word this evening. Alright, cheers everybody. I will catch you next time. Toodaloo.